Out of curiosity, if you ended up getting a cold or flu recently, did it feel worse than normal? So that happened to me last week and it wasn't something else, and I felt miserable. Looking at my stats, I was at 1% recovery for 2 days and 6% for another day, and then everything was just out of whack. HRV down to 32, which doesn't look good compared to the chart, resting heart rate way up, and also breathing just out of the range of normal. Thankfully, I am feeling a lot better now, even though my voice is still a little bit creaky, and if you are sick, hopefully you have the ability to work from home and you feel better as well. With that said, what's up guys, it's Sebastian from AskSebby. Today we're going to do an American Express roundup. We're going to look at some elevated offers, some news and deals, and also potentially a major change to American Express applications that I don't think is happening, but I would love your data points if you make it to that point in the video. Big favor, give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm so other people can see this, and if you are new here, you want to maximize your cash back or to do some cool trips, then consider subscribing. Starting with the elevated intro bonuses, we have the Schwab Investor Card. Right now, you're going to get $200 for spending $1,000 in the first 3 months. Reminder that this is a no annual fee card, and there's a 0% intro APR for the first 6 months. The standard bonus is $100 instead of $200 for the same MSR, the minimum spend requirement, so this is pretty solid. The main draw of the card is 1.5% cash back directly into your Schwab account, and then the other perks are a bit weak, but they're still there. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, even though I know some of you love it, just because I feel like you're leaving a lot on the table for that convenience. So for me personally, I'd probably do the Citi Double Cash, which is 2% back, 1% when you spend and 1% when you pay, and then just cash that out into the Schwab account. There are extra steps, but 2% versus 1.5, I'd happily do the extra work for 33% more value. Another option is the Fidelity 2% card, same thing as pretty much this card, but you're getting more value. So in the long term, I'd be careful with this, but in the short term, and with most intro bonuses, doesn't really matter. You can always try it, and if you don't like it, you can cancel it after a year. That's pretty much the draw of intro bonuses, that they're paying you to test out something to see if you like it. Number 2 is going to be the American Express Platinum Card via Card Match. I got a few Instagram messages saying that they were able to pull the $150K offer despite being customers already. What we're looking for is 150,000 MR points for $6,000 of spend in the first 6 months. There is a $695 annual fee, but we've talked about the perks and the other credits in other videos, so I'd recommend looking at those. If you're someone new to American Express, this is generally the best starting point because it's the highest offer you'll get. Once you become a customer, you can still get that offer, but it just becomes a lot more difficult. Put another way, pretty much anyone that's not already a customer should be able to get that offer, but once you become a customer, it becomes a lot smaller of a range. It's still worth checking though, because you never know. I'll put a card match link down below and also a blog post walking through how to use it. If you do check it out, let me know in the comments down below if you end up getting lucky with the 150K. Number 3, we have the American Express Platinum Card for Morgan Stanley. Intro bonus right now is 125,000 points for $6,000 to spend in the first 6 months. The standard offer is 100,000 points, so an extra 25K. With this card, I think there's 3 things you need to know. Number 1, the perks and the annual fee of $695 is pretty much the same as every other platinum card. Number 2 is that there's some features that help you waive the annual fee if you have certain asset numbers with Morgan Stanley. Number 3, you need a Morgan Stanley investing account in order to get the card. And number 4, the main draw of the card for me at least, and for a lot of you, is the fact that you can add 1 authorized user for free. And this isn't the normal gold authorized user account that you get with the platinum, but a platinum authorized user. So normally with the platinum, whether you're adding 1, 2, or 3 authorized users, you're paying a total of $175. With this card, if you don't want to kind of do that system, you can just get 1 for free. The cool thing is that they can still access Delta Sky Clubs, Centurion Lounges, and they also get their own Party Pass card. Pretty much all the perks of the Platinum card, including hotel status like Bonvoy and Hilton, transfer over to this card. The only thing to be careful with is the credits, so a lot of the big ones don't actually transfer over. You only get 1 for the whole account. Number 4 is the Blue Cash Preferred from Morgan Stanley. Right now, you're getting $400 for spending $3,000 in the first 3 months. $0 intro APR, and then $95 per year afterwards. There also is a 0% intro APR offer for up to 12 months from the date of account opening. If you're someone that needs liquidity, I think this is a pretty good pick. Number 5 is going to be the Hilton Aspire card. This is technically not an elevated offer, but it's still a very good card. Usually if someone comes to me, they already have the gold, the platinum, and they're in the end game anyways, then I recommend the Aspire. There is a $450 annual fee, but it's pretty easy to get value. Number 1, you get a $250 Hilton Resort credit. You also get a $250 airline incidental credit that you can pretty easily bank. Right off the bat, that's $500 in credits that help you offset the $450 annual fee. On top of this, you get Hilton Diamond status, which is their top level status. I'd say that it's not that great domestically because generally there's too many people that have status, but if you travel internationally, especially to Asia, then it's awesome. I'd say that Asia, South America, and the Middle East are pretty good value. I think you'd be surprised at the upgrades that you can get and just generally better service. On top of all of this, every year, you get an annual free night and you can use that certificate at almost any Hilton hotel. Domestically, you can look at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills, and then the New York one when that opens. Internationally, I'd look into Tokyo, Maldives, Bora Bora, and any other of those aspirational type resorts. On that note, if you do want to learn about cards, whether it's American Express or some other issuer, and you want to support the channel, we do have links on the website, AskSebby.com, and down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you guys in advance. It means a ton. Moving into a lightning round, we have Rakuten $40 for spending $40. So Rakuten is a cashback portal where you can get extra cash back and also American Express MR points for shopping through them. So technically with this offer, it's $40 or 4,000 MR points. Especially with Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, I think it's a good way to get additional value. Even right now for things like Nike, it's up to 12%. So again, 12% or 12x MR points. And especially if you do care about aspirational travel, if you value that at 2 cents per point, that's closer to 24% value. If you are interested in Rakuten, I'll put a link down below or go to AskSebby.com/Rakuten. Also kind of curious what deals you guys are looking for, so let me know down below. I ended up getting a pretty bad hole in this sweater, so just looking to replace this. I've already sewed it twice and it's already 2 years old, so I don't think it's going to last another cycle. If you're looking to test out a new brokerage and just get paid for it, then Moomoo has a pretty good offer. So for the current offer that ends on November 15th, the expected value of a stock is about $19.60. There's 4 key actions, and if you do all of them, then you're getting about $304 in value based off the EV. About 15.2% interest for depositing your money for 60 days, and if you annualize that, it's a pretty crazy number. Moomoo is a registered broker-dealer, so your assets are covered up to $500K and $250K for cash. Link down below if you want to check it out. If you're someone that has the American Express green card, they're increasing the value of one of the credits. So the Clear credit is jumping from $100 to $189. To me, Clear is one of the most underrated benefits because it can easily save you 30 to 90 minutes. And especially with Thanksgiving and the holidays coming around, I think it's going to be surprisingly useful. So if you do have the credit, then consider activating it. And I know some people hate it because if everyone has it, then no one has it. But if you consider TSA PreCheck's been around for a long time and everyone still doesn't have that, I don't think everyone's signing up for this. Let me know if I'm crazy, but just people don't seem to know about it. If you are signing up, the green credit ends up covering the full amount, but I'd argue that that's not the optimal way to do it. If you sign up through either United or Delta, then you're going to get it at a cheaper rate. So for example, for Delta, it's $119 if you're just a general member. You don't have to have any status. So the big brain move is to sign up for the cheaper offer and then add your player 2 for only $50. This means that both of you end up getting covered just from that one credit. Number 4, last one before the big story, is that I finally added YouTube memberships. I initially considered Patreon, but I think it's just cool to have little badges on YouTube. Still need to figure things out, but looking to do some live streams. I'm hoping that it ends up being some game nights or something if we don't have too many people, but I do expect it more to be Q&A style. If it's out of your budget, that's definitely fine. I'm still going to keep answering questions, generally in the first 1 to 2 hours of a video being up. And I'll probably prioritize badges the same way I do smart questions and also people using the end of video emoji. Alright, so moving into the last topic, and the request for data points from you guys is American Express potentially changing their application rules. Historically, at least, you were allowed to have 10 hybrid cards, so 10. So these would be the greens, the golds, the platinums, the business version of all of those cards, the ones that don't technically have a limit on the front end, but do have a limit on the back end. In addition to this, you were allowed 4, 5, or 6 of the normal credit cards, so these would be the ones that do have a limit, the Blue Cash Everyday, Blue Cash Preferred, anything that is the normal style. Bonvoy Brilliant, Delta Cards, Hilton Aspires, all of those. I got a tweet from Vinsanity walking through his experience, and it seems to be a bit different. So given his experience of Recon and also the Twitter help desk for American Express, it seems like they might be moving to a 5-card limit. And if you look at the tweet from American Express, they also say the same thing, that it's 5 total cards. On a side note, feel free to follow me over on Twitter. I'll probably start doing some more threads, especially for some faster topics that take more time to make a video and it just doesn't make sense. So for example, if there's a deal or something that's going to expire in the next 6 to 12 hours. All right, so this sounds terrible, but I think it might be an isolated incident. Unless you guys are going to start telling me different, I feel like if this was a new hardline rule, then we would have had more data points. But American Express's account is saying so. If you dig a bit deeper, they've said the same thing in the past before on August 26th. So almost 3 months ago, and I feel like if it was from back then, we would have seen a lot more data points. My guess is that it might be due to credit limits, so he might have limits that are too high, and they might not feel comfortable. Especially for credit limit based ones, sometimes they just don't tell you that. And again, I could be completely wrong, maybe this is the new truth, but I hope it's not the case. On kind of a side note, it is sometimes crazy to me that the employees at specific banks might not actually know the rules as well as we do. I think you'd be amazed how many times I, and also probably you guys, have ran into a Chase employee that told you that 524 didn't exist. Initially, I thought that was training and the fact that they might not want to leak their algorithm and stuff, but I think they might just not know about it. And I think you'll find the same thing of pretty much any other hobby-based thing. So if you go to Best Buy or something, if you're someone that knows computers very well, or you're an audiophile or something, if you walk into that department, you're going to know more than the salespeople in most cases. If I go to the camera department at Best Buy, I generally know more than them. Main takeaway, I think it's an isolated incident unless we're completely screwed and everything's changing. On that note, if you do want to learn about cards, whether American Express or probably some other issuer, if it is a change, then consider learning about them using the links on the website, AskSebby.com, and down below in the description box. If you made it to this point in the video, then leave a moo cow emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. YouTube memberships down below too if you want to start collecting your little badge for whatever reason. Maybe I'll do some cool things, but I want to under-promise and over-deliver. My question for you is, if we do see more of an economic downturn, do you think the issuers are going to pull back their offers and make approvals harder and just be not as happy? Or do you think now's their time to shine? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor, give this a thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. It's weirdly very difficult to film after you haven't filmed for a few days, no clue why. Also, might be switching to a new mic soon, especially because some of you don't seem to like this one. See you guys.